Welcome, my friends, to another 8 Ends. Gonna turn down the volume just a smidge. Sorry about that. All right, I want to make sure people can hear me. Although that does remind me, there was one time at Oakland, at San Francisco Bay Area Curling, I broadcast 3 games, did play-by-play commentary, and no one heard me because the mic wasn't working. Hopefully the mic is working today, as everything else. And this is your host, Ryan Olson, bringing you the 11:45 draw from the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns, brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. Joining the action here early in the first end between Team Stefani of Wine Country Curling and Team Malaret of Oval Curling of Utah. Looking for another good game. We had 2 games in the last draw go to extra ends. So while I don't necessarily want to see a game go to extra ends again, it's always good to see an exciting contest. And I'm glad you guys have tuned in for it. As we saw the last of the opening lead rocks. As we see Trevor Dersch get ready to throw his first rock. And looks like they're going to try and throw a hit, like a draw, like a heavy draw to tap the blue back, as you can see sort of in this view. It does get around that center guard pretty nicely and does do the tap. So I would definitely think mission accomplished for Trevor. Also, just off the top, there are 3 Oval teams in this field of 10 at this event. The Oval is my home club, but I am not taking any rooting interest in the home team, my club's teams. I just want to see a good competition, and I hope I call the games fairly. I just wanted to let you guys know. As we see the second for Stefani throw, and that would be a Nick Graff. I think looking to hopefully take out the red that Trevor just threw, but it's a little up weight. It does clip the red, which will roll back to the back 8-foot white circle. Or ring, I guess. So we have 10 teams in the field, as I mentioned. We have 2 pools of 5 teams each. And that means each team will play 4 games against their pool partners. And at the end of pool play later tonight, the top 2 teams from each pool will advance to Sunday morning semifinals. And then those that prevail in the semifinals will advance to the championship game at around 12:20 tomorrow afternoon, all times Pacific Daylight. Do see some lag in the video streams. I will try to fix that when I can. As we see the third for Stefani get ready to go. That's Jeff Jones. And they're looking to draw around the center rocks, and I think park right on the button or just above it if they can. It's going to be interesting to see how these rocks curl. This is looks like it started going the other way. Because they were doing the counterclockwise to curl back towards the center. I'm looking at the warm room monitor, which has YouTube. It looks like it may have stalled and then started curling the opposite direction. That can happen when the rock is under rotated. Just interesting to see that at an event of this caliber. Just to go over some of the other field of play rules. There are each team has 30 minutes of what's called thinking time to play their shots, or to deliver their shots. The clock starts when the other team's shot stops, essentially, and then they have until the clock runs until the delivering stone crosses the delivering tee line. So shots can be as quick as like 5 to 10 seconds, or they can take as much time as they need. Although if they run out of time, they run out of game. They, I believe, they lose. There's two different variations of this time rule, and I think our variation is they lose. And then teams do have a 1 minute timeout. That's different than what we've been saying in past events, but including the women's Playdowns last month. It's because there's coaches in the field at those other events. There's no coaches here, so there's no additional travel time for coaches. So it's 1 minute, and it stops the clock. And then once the minute's up, the clock starts again. That draw was successful. As we see Phil blitz deliver his second stone, looking, I think, to draw around. Could be looking for a hit and roll. It is going to hit, but is there much of a roll? Not too much. It does definitely give Malaret something to possibly raise later in this end. Stefani does have the hammer. Looking to, I think, try the draw from the other side with Jones's last rock here in the first. So there's 2 sheets at this facility at Lake Tahoe, and that means both sheets are in action every draw through as the semifinals. And this rock is going to get around those center reds. And it does crash, but it does give Stefani something to play off of for their remaining 2 shots in the end. So there's 2 sheets in play every game. In this game, we have Team Hernandez from Hollywood Curling taking on Team Pomeroy from Oval Curling. We'll do our best to keep track of the scores as we progress through the draw. However, the easiest thing that you guys can do is check out bondspieler.com. Bondspieler.com has live scores from every game, every draw, as well as current standings, including Draw Shot Challenge. And it's all at bondspieler.com. So, trying to guess what Malaret would like to do here. Looks like they're set for a draw through a fairly tight port. Looks like a pretty solid release. I think the option might be to hit and roll. Hit the blue that's on the outside. but it's over curling. Now it's going to kind of go into the pile and then raise one of the reds slightly, but then it also takes away the blue angle raise that Stefani may have been looking at earlier a shot ago. So they're looking at the raise on the other side. So looking it over, I think considering the angles, and they have the broom down for curious about what they want to hit. I mean, they want to hit the blue, but I'm curious about how they want to hit the blue. So I think ask for a little less ice. I think what they want to do is they want to hit the inside of the outer blue and then kind of roll to the top of the forefoot to get a second point. And this is Dan Stefani's first, hailing from the Wine Country Curling Club just outside of Sacramento in Roseville. Their home ice is called Skate Town. And they host a couple bonspiels. The biggest one is the Crush bonspiel that's coming up next weekend, and does get the hits, but doesn't really roll into the house. So now Carl and his rink are looking at what to do. Phil was kind of pointing to the raise on the right side from this view. Carl's kind of looking at the rays on the left side, although there's a lot of congestion on the right side, the left side, pardon me, as they're now shifted to the right side, looking at the angle rays. Need to hit it, I think, almost like about 11 o'clock, just to the left of center, and then raise it toward the back button. A miss here could open up a port for Stefani to draw for his last. This is Malaret's last here in the first end without the hammer. Sweepers Brian and Trevor are on it. Looking for the raise. Let's see here. It's hanging out though. Oh, this actually could be. Oh! So it hit the blue on top of the blue. So it kind of fell to the left. So now Stefani does kind of have not a draw, but an angle roll toward the button. He needs to pretty much touch the red ring, the 4-foot red ring, to score that second point. A very messy house to start this game. Like, where are we at? My apartment? Obviously, that was a dumb joke. I'm full of them. So Dan Stefani gets set for his last rock. Looking for a hit and roll with his last. Slight wobble. And this is hanging out again. It's going to hit the outer blue and just kick it back to the back of the house, out of play. So it's a single point for Team Stefani. And Malaret will take the hammer into the second end. We'll take a quick pause in the action and be right back. when our coverage of the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns continues from Lake Tahoe Epic Curling. And this event is being brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. DoubleTakeout.com is operated by Ken Pomeroy, the stats geek, as it were. He's definitely known for college basketball, and he's applying his talents to curling stats throughout the competitive curling season. Pomeroy updates the site with numbers and insights from around the curling world. Keep track of your favorite men's, women's, and mixed doubles team and see how they rank against others in Pomeroy's custom ranking system. That's all at doubletakeout.com. Seeing the lead rock now for Team Stefani. That's Danny Padilla. He's been curling for 3 years. Known by his teammates as Emergency Todd or Handsome Todd. He's replacing a curler named Todd is what's happening.
Are you leaving?
He's been curling since the summer of 2021. That ends up as a corner guard. So Brian Forsyth is pushing out a hat. He's been curling for just a year and has been to only one bonspiel. That was the his and her bonspiel in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. The team finished in 4th place as he threw lead. And he traveled with most of this team Malaret, if I remember correctly. So let's see what Emergency Todd has dialed up here. Since 2021, he's been competing in numerous local leagues and bonspiels. Was the A event champion at the Silicon Valley Bonspiel last year. The Wine Country Curler of the Year in 22-23. And has a B event win and a C event win at numerous MoPac 5 and unders. Although this is his first regional playdown. And this rock will end up, I think, hitting the blue. It looks like it, maybe hit the blue and kicked one of the blues back to the right edge of the sheets. Brian's next rock is going to settle in at the top of the house, close to the tee line. And it's pretty exposed, so I think Stephanie's going to want to take that on. And he does. Looking for hack weights. I think a hit and roll is what he's looking for. As Nick Graff, the curler of 7 years, pushes out from the hack. Looking for some contact. It's curling right now. Now they're trying to hold the line. And it does make some contact. No roll, just a nose hit. I think they would have maybe liked to have a little bit of a roll. Back to the center guard on the right from this view. And it looks like Carl wants Trevor Durst to throw the takeout as well. And Trevor's been curling for 4 years. I remember when he started. He was on Carl's and my team. This looks pretty similar to the last stone from Stefani, although it's over curling a smidge. Still a nose hit. And it's now Malaret holding the house with a single red rock. So Stefani wants Jones to do the takeout again. Jones has participated in numerous leads and club-hosted bonspiels over his tenure, including winning back-to-back Gentlemen's Division victories at the Granite Curling Club in Seattle, as well as the the Granite Curling Club of California. I apologize. That was the Granite Curling Club of California, and that was their California State Championship. It's important to read the whole sentence, guys. So trading the hits back and forth. This is Dersh's second. Been curling for 4 years. Was at the last year's Arena Playdowns. Was a win away from the playoffs. Also at this year's men's club Playdowns. Again, a win away from the playoffs. This will hit and roll. Is it going to stick around? It needs to hold on and will barely just hang on by the hair of his chinny chin chin. Oh. This is Jeff Jones. I might be getting players confused. It's been a long weekend. So I think just a draw around the center. Looks pretty good. It might be, it's digging in right now. I thought it was going to be a little heavy, but it's just it dug in. And settles right in the top right button. So Carl, I think, is looking for hitting a slight roll from Phil Blitz. Some people in Utah call Phil the Mark Kennedy of Utah. I think they're being nice because I'm not that good looking. He's a lefty. Does hit, rolls away from the center. And the people who might not know, Mark Kennedy is one of the more prominent left-handed curlers in the sport. He went to the 2010 games with Kevin Martin and secured the gold medal, and was also in the Pyongyang games in 18 with Kevin Cooey. I'm doing this from memory. This is Jeff Jones. And the previous curler before Jeff was Nick Graff. So if I missed Jeff, or if I missed Nick, I apologize. Going to hit and see some roll. It's going to head to the back of the house. And that is also going to remain in play. I think it's just outside the red ring. So it's not counting. So Malaret is looking to try and draw around that center guard from Phil Blitz. So he said, he was noting the Mark Kennedy reference. Phil says that he doesn't like being a lefty. So if you make a great shot, they make it because you're a lefty. If you miss the shots, it was because you're left-handed and you never had a chance. He's also partially colorblind with the red-green color. So he started curling in Dallas, Fort Worth in 2014. So He says he's been curling for 9 years, technically 10, but no one counts COVID. And for a while, I counted COVID as my curling experience because we were able to get back on the ice at the Oval after a few months of delay. Not as long as some of the other clubs. So that red rock is sitting in the back of the 4-foot exposed. And Jones has the broom down for Stefani to take it out. And Dan gave me custom facts for his bio, including the fact that he likes curling. He has been within an hour by car of Kay's Curling of Scotland, but resisted the urge to go because he wouldn't have been able to fit 8 stones in his checked baggage, which, you know, it is a lot of weight. It's almost, it's probably about 4,000 pounds. So the hit's made, a slight roll back to the center. So Carl's going to return the favor with a takeout of his own. Not really wasting any time to get the broom down as he heads down the ice. So Carl, he actually started curling with his wife, Shara, at the Wasatch Curling Club after the 2002 Olympics. They won the club's inaugural 8-team lead while playing skip and vice. Curling in Utah was sparse at that time, so there weren't very many opportunities to curl competitively. As he goes for the hit, I think a little roll, but this needs to come back. It's going to hit, it's going to roll, but it's going to roll wide and hang on to the edge of the sheet. That is a fun way to sit too. So now Stefani's probably just going to try and maybe hit one out or draw. If Stefani leaves open a shot, Carl and Malaret can get 3. So a dangerous situation here for Team Stefani here in the second end. And it looks like they're opting to draw, perhaps? So Dan Stefani, he was at the Hive Bonspiel at the Oval Curling in Utah. We have a blacklight mini tournament, and so he won the event with himself and 2 newer curlers in a 3-person team. No one was holding the target broom and was effectively in the dark, and there were black lights. So looking for a draw here, looking to be shot in a way that would be hard for Carl to hit out. And yes, it looks like they were going to try and draw on top of the red in the back, but this is not coming back enough. And it's going to actually go through the house out of play. And so Carl with the red rocks has a chance to draw for 3. Just to draw, need to be full 12 foot to secure that 3rd point, I believe. That blue in the back is, I think, outside. It's definitely outcounted by the reds. And this is Carl's last shot, looking for 3. As the sweepers are just, Trevor's was cleaning, I think he's still cleaning. It doesn't need anything more than that, as it's going to settle in pretty much right in the back of the 8-foot ring. And I'm going to say that's 3. As they clear the rucks. Pretty interesting ends so far. I'll wait till they post the score before I make it official. But Stefani will have the hammer as we head into the third end in just a moment when we come back to the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns. Coming to you live from Lake Tahoe Epic Curling. As we're about to get started with the third end here at the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns, updating the action on Sheet B, a Pool A game between Team Hernandez of Hollywood and Team Pomeroy of Oval Curling. Hernandez had a hammer and scored 2 in the first end. Looks like they are in the middle of their third end. Don't know if what the scoring was in their second end. And it was a score of 3 for Malaret on our feature sheet. So looking at the standings right now, Stefani and Malaret are in Pool B. They are historically among our stronger teams, but they are struggling for a win. They're 0-2 currently. And the top 2 teams in the pool advance. So we have Team Betts and Team Gilbert at the top of the pool. Betts is undefeated at 3-0. Gilbert lost to Betts in the morning draw in the extra end. They're at 2-1, and then Team Chen is at 1-1. Looking at Pool A, Team Spangler, the top seed in the event, is 3-0, followed by a 3-way tie at 1-1 between Team Pomeroy, Fry, and Hernandez. And Team Burns, they've been playing pretty strong, but they are hunting for their first win at 0-3, and we're only playing 4 games. So Burns is possibly looking to play spoiler in their last game, and that's going to be coming up next at about 3 o'clock Pacific time. Team Burns is watching this game, so are you also helping time?
Huh?
Are you timing?
No.
Oh, okay. So.
Well, I'm going to do live commentary with you at 6.
All right.
You let me.
Sure.
That'll be fun.
If we keep it PG.
I will keep it PG. I knew that was going to be the first thing you said.
So we have Austin Burnt from the team offering to come and join the broadcast at 6. So looking forward to that. Keeping our eye on the action here as we see Emergency Todd throw his second rock. It's Danny Padilla. So it looks like they are able to make the hits, and the shooter sticks around to be a second shot. And it looks like Carl would be happy to just to blow up that block of stones, asking Trevor to bring some heat. You can tell because my pitch went up. Trevor started curling in fall of 2020. He produces a YouTube series called Curling to the Tee with Trevor, where he talks about his experiences in training of newer curlers. He's also created a stats app for the Apple iWatch to benefit more experienced curlers in their training. And in the last game, I talked about how during a top-level game, you have scorers judging each shot, kind of ranking them on a scale of 0 to 4, where 0 is a total miss and a 4 is a made shot with the best outcome. So as they go throughout the game, they add up the numbers divided by the number of shots the player has taken, and that's how you get the percentages you see on TV. And Trevor has an app where you do the scoring yourself, which can be somewhat distracting, I think, when you're trying to be focused on the game. I don't think he's scoring his games right now. Also, World Curling Rules, or one of the association's rules, forbid using like smartwatches for communication, or like basically purposes other than a watch and basic health. So Nick flashed that last rock, so Trevor's going to have a draw here. This might be carrying a little bit. Got the stutter going on. Let's see where it's actually going behind the tee line, ending up the back 8, somewhat covered. And so Dan is looking to just try and blow up those red rocks in front of the house as Nick throws his second rock. His accomplishments include a MoPac 500 under B event runner-up. He was also at the MoPac 25 and under B event runner-up. And that gets both reds moving. One red goes out of play. The other one goes through the back of the house as Stefani tries to coax it as far as it can go. And it ends up just kind of like hanging on by the chin of his chinny chin chin in the back of the 12-foot. So it looks like Carl would like Phil Blitz to draw around the cover of the top blue. And you can see those clocks I mentioned in the background. That keeps track of the thinking time. And looks pretty close to being a made shot. Trevor's trying to bury it as deep as can go. Ends up exposed about 60% on the right side. During the fourth end, we're going to take a 5-minute break. I might try to go out and warm up one of the cameras, see if that will help the stutter. As Stephanie's looking to run the blue back onto the red. Looking for a bumper weight. That's going to be enough to have the rock hit the wood barrier that lines the ice. And looking for a good contact. It's going to be pretty close. It just kisses that red and pushes it back to the back 8 foot. And then the blue that was in the house, I believe, rolled to the left. So right now it is Malaret sitting 2, maybe 3, and Stefani has the outside blue on the left. As Phil throws his first of the end. So as I mentioned last end, Phil is partially red and green colorblind. So he always sees a 9-ender on his sheets, which would be quite a feat when you can only store up to 8 rocks end and end. So looks like Phil put up a guard, and that is somewhat protecting the shot stone on the right. That was a good shot from Phil. However, there is a draw to the shot stone on that path that Stefani has the broom down for. Looking for Jeff Jones. Just a heavy draw, I think, to tap it back. This is over curling, maybe. I hear contact. And it does just kind of kiss the shot stone, and then the shooter rolls open to the right. So we're to skip stones here on sheet A. So Carl's curling journey. They were on the winning team at the Utah Winter Games in second place at the Logan Bonspiel. However, he took a break after the Wasatch curling closed. Coming back to the game in 2019, and I was thankful enough to be on his team when he came back. He obviously was not fully ready to go out of the gate, out of the hack, but he definitely practiced a bunch. He definitely knew what he was doing, and really helped transform the team I was on, and I think really helped elevate the performance of the curlers at our club, especially as he is helping to manage and teach the Ovals Learners League over the past 3 years. And there's a lot of competitive teams now at the Ovals. I think a lot of people eager to help others learn and compete competitively. Hopefully have fun too. That's what the sport's about. And so we're looking to, I think, set up for a draw, but could be drawing to the red in the back.
So here's what we have. So Paul then goes through one and did not cover the measure 1.52. Okay, so we were accepting, yes, 1.52.
So this rock is going to settle in right on top of that red. Not quite on top. It looks like it's exposed a smidge. So if Carl hits that blue kind of just to the left of center, would be able to pop it out, and you'd be sitting 4 or 5. And then Stefani would be forced to basically just do a hit for a single. So it looks like Carl is going to do a very similar shot to what Dan just threw.
So here's the way to that's roughly 60 centimeters. That's roughly 2. And so then you do that, you should get something.
So Cameron showed up, and
So looking for a heavy draw. This is Carl's last here without the hammer in the third end.
So we only have to change the ones that we put into the app, and there's a setting in there. So you have to bring that.
Let's switch to the line to see where the rocks are going. This is going to be close. He hits it just a little
So we don't have to change it. Except
more to the right of center than they wanted. It does pop the blue back. So then red is shot, but blue looks to be second. So if Stefani was able to pop out or like tick out that red, kind of hit it on the left edge from this view and kind of squirt it out toward the right. It's going to be hard to stick around for a second point. So it looks like I think Stefani's not going to try to really do a lot here in terms of weight. He wants to stick around. So he's going to throw close to the same weight that he threw before. I heard someone say normal, but I don't think that applies to this. I'd be surprised if it did. So, Dan Stefani's last shot is away.
how do you know what the
Sweepers are on it. Again, looking for just a heavy draw to try to kick that red back. And it doesn't seem to be enough. As the device for Stefani, Jeff Jones pointed towards the Malaret red. So that's going to be a steal of one for Malaret, as they're going to take a 4-1 lead into the fourth end, but Stefani has the hammer. And we'll see what Stefani can do when we come back to the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns, coming to you live from Lake Tahoe Epic Curling.
I mean, it's still giving you the right measurement.
rocks in play. We're underway here in the fourth end, where Team Malaret has jumped to a 4-1 lead over Team Stefani. Before the event, the teams were asked to rank their fellow competitors, and that was used to seed the field. And as I mentioned at the start, Stefani and Malaret are usually among the stronger teams in the field, as Malaret was seeded 7th out of 10 and Stefani was seeded 6th out of 10. So bottom half of the ranking. Although the differences between the teams can be very slight, but both teams are hunting for their first win, with one game to go after this. As Danny throws his second rock. Going to hit and roll. Keeping a pretty open sheet. And Trevor Dersh gets set to deliver a hit of his own. Needs to hold the line. And it looks like it's going to be pretty close, but contact will be made. And a slight roll, a decent roll to the left across the center to the left edge of the 4-foot blue ring. And Nick Graff is going to throw his first. I believe. Looking for another hit, trading the hits back and forth. If the end plays out as it is right now, Stefani could be looking to blank. So that hit and slight roll is made by Nick. Good shot there. And so Trevor's being asked to do the takeout again, this time from the other left side of the ice. And let's look for A, B, and C on his delivery. Brian is really sweeping to hold the line. And now he's off. Now Phil's jumping in to try to push it. And it's enough energy to get both stones out of play. While that rock, while they get set for the next shot, let's look at Bonspieler. It's everyone's favorite scorekeeping site. So they're about to end the fourth end on sheet B. Hernandez stole the second end with a single. And Pomeroy was able to get on the board in the third with a single point. So currently it's Hernandez of Hollywood up 3-1 over Pomeroy from Oval Curling. And looks like Hernandez is threatening again here in the fourth end. I see a lot of blue and not too much Pomeroy red on the overhead camera. So trading hits continues as Phil Blitz gets ready to do a takeout. And actually that last Stefani stone was just a draw. But the hit's made, slight roll back towards the button. And we definitely seem to be on the road to Blanksville, as Jeff Jones gets ready to throw his first. And he notes that among his notable accomplishments was being defeated by Olympians on multiple occasions in the sport of curling, and that flashes just a miss there, unfortunately. So he's been defeated by Olympians on multiple occasions in curling, but he's been able to beat Skip Dan multiple times in the sport of disc golf, which I think is a noble sport like curling. So on sheet B, Palmer was able to hit one of the Hernandez blues out, but looks pretty exposed. And his second shot, I believe. Maybe shot. So, sorry, switching back to our feature game. With that miss from Stephanie's team, Phil draws down on top of the red in the ring. And now Malaret is sitting 2. But there's some separation, so there's a double for Jeff Jones to take on. This looks better. I think it's going to get 1 at least. Indeed, that is what happens. So Malaret can try that draw again, which seems to be the case. There's also possibly to split the rings and then make it really hard for Stefani to score even a single point. But I think this strategy is geared to maybe steal. By controlling the center and by keep piling rocks into the center of the house, it's going to be very difficult for Stefani to get rid of all of those red rocks, provided that Carl keeps piling them in. So on sheet B, Palmer is now sitting shots, but surrounded by burnt blues. As Carl's first shot of the end is away, looking for a draw. This looks to be coming up a little light. And also is wide, so I think they're just trying to get into the house at this point. And mission accomplished in that regard. Good for a second shot, but it does set up a double. Keeping my my oft-used catchphrase, I think the double is there. It's part of the social drinking game, I guess, or social, I don't know. Have a stick of gum every time I say, I think the double's there. I don't want people to overindulge. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Have a stick of gum. As you see Dan throw his first here. Looking for 1, maybe 2. That's just going to be 1 if he makes the shots. And it looks like it's coming over, so he's going to get the 1 red. And the shooter's going to roll wide to the right. And so Carl's going to put the broom down to hit that out. To make it impossible for Stefani to score multiple points at this end. And then at that point, it's going to be very difficult for Stefani to get rid of both reds for a blank. And so he'll be forced to draw for a single. Looking for hits. I think a stick would be apropos. And it's actually going to roll out after hitting the blue shot stone. And so now Stefani's in a position to blank the end. And that's what he's opting to do. When you have the hammer, you want to try and score multiple points. And in this situation, the most he can only get is a single point. So he's opting to try and hit the blue out. Sorry, hit the red out and have the blue shooter roll away. And then carry the hammer into the halftime intermission and into the 5th end to start the second half of the game. as we see Dan get set. Last rock, the hammer coming from Dan Stefani here in the fourth end. Needs to get a piece of the red rock and roll away. And it looks like it will. So mission accomplished by Dan Stefani and his ring. Going to carry the hammer into the fifth end. And we're going to take the break with them. So please don't touch that dial on your smartphones. And we'll be back in just a few minutes when we come back to the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns, coming to you live from Lake Tahoe Epic Curling.
That's how I get too when I'm old, is I stutter.
Yeah, I'll come with that.
I'm so tired. Rocks in play. We're underway here in the fifth end. Hopefully some of the jitter might be gone. It's pretty cold in the ice house, which is appropriate. That's where the ice is. That's where the ice is housed. So with the rocks in play, it looks like play is being drawn toward the center. As we saw Trevor's net shot. I think that it was his first. Could be a second. No, that was his first. As we see Nick Graff get set. So on sheet B, it's a very close contest as Pomeroy, I think, has been able to come back into the game and tie things up with Hernandez. And so we're keeping track of the scores at bondspieler.com. That was a great shot there from Nick Graff. So there is a lone red in the house, surrounded by two blue Stefani stones. And I think just looking to draw on top of the pile. I think just to try and maybe reassert control of the center of the pile, because if Stefani were able to pop that red shot stone out, then he could be sitting two or three. This doesn't come back enough, and so now Stefani has an angle raise, an angle run back to run the blue onto red. That's kind of what he's looking at right now. Blue onto red.
What did I have you do today?
And that does seem to be the shots. The angles are going to be important as Nick gets set for his last here in this fifth end. So it looks like it's over curling a bit, and it does kind of tick the blue guard to the left wing from this view. It's going to be on the right when we switch to the overhead, or the over the shoulder view. And so it looks like Carl wants to put up another red on the other path. Again, just to try to minimize Stefani from being able to do the blue-red run back. As we see Phil throw his next, his first of the end. This is carrying a little bit. Let's see where it sits down. We're going to get some tap action. So I think it's going to be tricky for Stefani to... I don't think it's tricky for Stefani. Just try to think it out loud. I think he can run the blue... Sorry, he can run the red onto blue, onto red. As Jeff Jones delivers, just like Karl Malone, for all those Utah Jazz fans in the audience. It's going to do the red. Ooh, just both reds moving, and that's a pretty good shot. Let's call that a double takeout. Brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. For all those Utah Jazz fans in the audience. It's going to do the red. Ooh, just both reds moving, And that's a pretty good shot. That was a good shot. As we now see the situation, now Stephanie's sitting 3 in the rings, and Carl has a lone red in the top of the house. As Phil throws his second stone. I think looking for a little hit and maybe roll back towards the center. He's trying to get one of the blues. Then catch the one in the back? No. So got rid of one of the Stefani blues, which is important to minimize the risks of giving up a multiple point end, although Stefani is sitting 1 right now, 1 and 3, and Malaret has 2 and 4. And looks like the hit's going to be there again. And this time it's going to go on the blue in the back. And both the red and the blue go away. And so now it is Stefani sitting 1-2. And Malaret is third shot. And it looks like they want to raise the red on top of the blue. So looking for a raise. He's throwing a decent amount of weight at it. I don't know if he needs it, unless he's worried about the line. He's probably going to throw, I'm going to guess, like 9.5 seconds. I don't have my stopwatch. Brian and Trevor are sweeping to get a piece. And that run back, that very short run back is accomplished. The shot stone is now Malaret's red. And that does look to be about 40% open. Especially if you look at it from that overhead view. Or sorry, over the shoulder view. Face on view, pardon me. So they could try to double those reds out. Could run the risk of bringing another red into the house. And it looks like they want to avoid that. So they're looking for a draw, maybe a heavy draw to maybe raise the blue. But it looks like just based on how Dan is cleaning the draw path, I think just a draw around the center rocks to settle in top of the 4-foot. I think making contact with the blue is their plan B. So shots away. Jeff indicated it may have been wide on release. It's coming back pretty nicely though. Got 13.5, so it is a little on the heavy side. It is going to make contact with the blue. Sorry. It's going to kick that red over to the right from this view. And now the question of who is shot is red by about 2 or 3 inches. So Malaret could choose to maybe draw through the ports and force Stefani for 1. This is the dangerous part from the shot that he's setting up, is that if he raises that red, and if Stefani is able to get rid of that red, then Stefani could be scoring 3. I really think it'd be good if Malaret was sitting 2 after this was all said and done. He'd also be looking to maybe split the rings a little bit, or just kind of split the rock in a little further and spill the other one to the other side. But this is Carl's last rock here. Okay, it is a draw. Needs to be second shot, and is not. So now Stefani can double those rocks out and score the 3. Getting to employ my favorite catchphrase, I think the double's there. They just needed another foot for that shot to be made. No, to be honest though, I don't know if you wanted to be anywhere near that red to create the possible double. So a big chance for a 3 to tie the game. Just needs to hit the. I think they need to hit the red shot stone first. That's the most important priority, and then maybe roll to the left and get that second red out of the way to bring the outer blue into scoring. But it all comes down to this. This is Dan Stefani's last here in the 5th end. Looking for at least one shot stone to go away. It looks like it's going to be close. There goes one red, and the second red kicks it just about 3 feet. And that's going to be a steal of 1 for Team Malaret. Stefani carries the hammer into the 6th end. And we're going to take a pause for refreshment, and we'll be right back in just a moment when we come back to the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns, brought to you by doubletakeout.com. So the Arena Playdowns is just a part of the MoPac Tournament of Titans, almost like the Season of Champions. The Tournament of Titans. The Women's Arena Playdowns was last month, as I mentioned throughout the broadcast. Team Aces of Silicon Valley won the event and has punched their ticket to the Arena Nationals at Wausau, Wisconsin, coming up in October. And then if you are interested in other MoPac playdowns, we have the mixed fours, men's and women's, shared as a shared team, men and women together. It's mid-December at Coyotes Curling in Tempe, Arizona. And then the men's and women's club championships, that's all the clubs in the region can take part. And that'll be mid-January at San Francisco Bay Area. So more information on the MoPac Facebook page and the MoPac website. Right now we have a pretty interesting game. Stefani's been looking for opportunities, but Malaret has been finding the right place to put the rocks. Stefani was in a place to get 2, maybe 3, and unfortunately just kind of hits, I think, hit the outer rock too strongly, and they needed more energy in the shot stone. to get it all the way through the house out of play. And as it was, just a little energy went into that shot stone, pushed it further towards the button, and that was enough for a steal of 1. So this stone coming from Danny Padilla ends up a bit heavy through the house. So now Brian is going to be asked to draw around the guard that he just put up. And that's Brian Forsyth in his first year curling. This is going to be a little on the light side. Might be just another guard. Actually, it's going to spill into the house. Oh, it went a lot deeper than I was anticipating. That was a really solid sweep there from Trevor and Phil Blitz. So it looks like Danny is going to try to do a heavy draw and pluck out that red in the top 4 foot. Nia has some curling to do. And this again is probably going to go through the house out of play. Just a bummer there for Danny. So now they're sitting one fairly buried. And so Trevor's being asked to maybe just draw another guard, offset guard, a little closer, a little further to the left of the center line. I think they were discussing the weights, and I think they maybe just want a nibbler. And that would be just biting the edge of the rings. This is going to carry a little bit. Let's see if it's going to sit down in time. And it looks like it's going to settle in on top of the red shot stone. And so Stefani's not wasting any time asking Nick to do the takeout of the guard, to peel the guard, as it were. Supers are on it, now they're off. It's going to drive the red into the pile of reds in the house. Through some kinetic action, got the back red out. And it looks like Trevor's going to be asked to do a very similar shot as his first. I would say maybe a little less weight. So it's up a little higher, but let's see what Trevor has. So I mentioned in past games, but it's always good to mention that kind of my teaching moment this weekend is to watch the delivery. And that was a really good second shot from Trevor. I think another half rock to curl would have been preferred because it's about half open. It's way open. So Stefani can throw some heat at it and get 2, maybe all 3 reds moving. But he's opting to peel his own guard. So as you watch the delivery, watch for the aim, the balance, and the curl that they put on the release. It's as easy as A, B, C. And speaking as easy as A, B, C, runs the blue onto the red, kicks into the reds in the house. So Malaret is still sitting 3 red. And one of the reds is pretty buried under the corner guard that was created out of this last shot. So I think he's looking for another draw. Top 12, I think, is the way that he wants. So as Phil Blitz gets sets, let's look for A, B, and C. Starting to curl, so I think they need to... Oh, they're trying to coax it over. I think it's pretty close. And that's pretty close to what he wanted. I don't know if he wanted it in the house, but the guard is really great for the situation that's in the house right now. So Stefani's kind of looking things over. We are in the 6th end, and so you can see that Stefani has about 8 minutes 45 seconds to finish this end and play 2 more ends. And that's still not too bad in terms of the time. You want to play ends in about 3.5 minutes. Oh, beauty right there. That's a double takeout. Let's watch the replay, brought to you by doubletakeout.com. That's a double takeout. I don't want people to overindulge. It's kind of what I'm getting at. Have a stick you down. As you see Dan throw his first here. I don't want people to overindulge. It's kind of what I'm getting at. Have a stick you down. As you see Dan throw his first. Looking for 1, maybe 2. That's just going to be 1 if he makes the shots. And it looks like it's coming over, so he's going to get the 1 red. And the shooter's going to... That's just going to be 1 if he makes the shots. And it looks like it's coming over, so he's going to get the 1 red. And the shooter's going to... Okay. I think we're back. The camera studio app crashed on the replay, and trying to bring her back led to some glitching. But I think we're back. I'm going to check the YouTube channel. Actually, it's playing right now, so we are in the 6th end. Oh, that was weird. While we were away, looks like some more Roscott in play. And Malaret still sitting 2 in the rings. So it looks like Carl's going to try to draw, put up a guard perhaps. As he throws his last here. Not his last, his first. Without the hammer. So this is coming down. They want to protect the shot stone. And it looks like went maybe just a smidge too deep. Because I think Stefani's going to throw heat at it and get two of those reds out of play. So the broom's down, looking to throw some heat. And 10 shots away. Looking for some noise. It crashes on his own guard, and the shooter's going to roll away, as does the guard. And so now Carl's just going to put up a guard, kind of protect the clutch of reds that he has, like a mama bird. So that replay really threw my system for a loop. But now we're back. I said that before, but now we're back, really. So broom's down for a guard. Let's time this. I'm confident. Looking for a guard. With Carl Malaret's last here in the sixth end. Got 14:06. This is heavier than I was expecting. It actually kind of wicks off of the red in the center.
You're gonna help too? You're gonna be here?
And now they're sitting 4, and it gave Stefani a path to the button by hitting that red that just was put up by Carl and rolling towards the center. And it's not an impossible shot, as Trevor tries to cling the draw path. I think just because he may have seen something on the ice. We're competitors on the ice, but we definitely want to make sure that the playing conditions are fair and clean for everyone. Stefani asked for a little less ice. Looking for a hit and roll for a single point. Last rock here, sixth end. Looking for some hit and roll action. Just needs about 2 feet of roll. And this might be over curling. Are they looking for a plan B? Maybe wick off of the red. It wicks off the red and spins to the back of the 8-foot. And that might be a saving rock there. Looks like Malaret steals at least 2. They might want to put a stick on 3, and they're shaking hands. So that's the ball game. Just a hard-fought battle. Stefani just couldn't find his way to the button, which I think is partly due to some of the excellent shots that Malaret was making. So overall, a good game. And we're going to take a pause here. I'm going to update the action on sheet B and then set up our next game coming up at about... I'll look up the time just to confirm. I don't want to give you guys a bad time. So looking at bondspieler.com to check the score on sheet B, the contest between Team Hernandez and Team Pomeroy. Hernandez of Hollywood and Pomeroy of Oval Curling of Utah. So they're in their 6th end. Actually, they're throwing away towards the 7th end. But it looks like Pomeroy was able to steal the 5th to take a 4-3 lead. And then it looks like Hernandez responded with a deuce. So it's a 5-4 Hernandez over Pomeroy with 2 ends to go. And then to set up our next game, because I'm sure you guys are waiting with eager breath on the MoPac YouTube channel. I definitely do appreciate you guys tuning in. Coming up at about 2:50, about 3 o'clock, we're going to have a contest between Team Fry of One Country taking out Team Burnt of Orange County. And that's going to be the last game for Team Burnt. So looking to play Spoiler. And that's coming up at 3 o'clock. So we're going to step away from the action, and we'll join you then. So until then, actually just to note that the final was 7-1 Malaret over Stefani, although it's the win that counts. So, do you want to do a post-game interview?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
1 second. Let me get Trevor on real quick. All right.
Nice. Post-game interview.
So, Trevor, this is Trevor Dersch.
Hello, everyone.
So he's in the warm room.
It's warm in here.
1 second.
Oh.
It's on mute.
Hello, everyone. This is Trevor. I'm no longer on mute.
All right. So just kind of, this is your first win for the team at the event. Kind of maybe talk about kind of what it feels like just coming off the game with that win.
Oh, it felt really good. So yesterday when we got here, so we came in on Thursday. We got some practice, and we felt like we were all pretty dialed in. It felt like the way it was playing today. But then Friday morning came, and everything was running really fast and really straight. And so it was a little hard to adjust, and so we had a rough start in our first game. Second game, we had a great going, and then we had an unfortunate pick that cost us 3 to tie up the game.
Yeah.
Missed a hit in the 7th, and then we couldn't get our draw to tie the game. But coming into this game, I was like, you know what? Like, we finally, are coming to a game where we can give it our best. There's a little less pressure because now we're not like the top of the group. But yeah, we just felt like we had good read of the ice. It was a little more swinging, more curl, which was great. And we had great communication. We did more clean sweeping. and I think that really made a difference.
I think we're seeing a decent number of picks this weekend. So is that leading to the more cleaning?
Yeah, it is a little unfortunate. You can look at my broom and see how much it's picking up. I think the ice crew is doing a great job. This is the fastest ice I've ever played on. And this facility is great. For those of you who are wanting to do a bond spiel here or come visit, I highly recommend it. This is definitely one of a great curling clubs in the MoPac region. But yeah, unfortunately there is a little bit of dirt and debris out there, and we just have to do a little bit of cleaning, but that's not bad. It's actually a good practice anyway, because when you watch the pros, when they like the line and the weight, they'll normally call a good clean. So I think it's good practice.
Well, one thing about cleaning is that when your broom's already in the ice, when you need to sweep, you can start sweeping right away, as opposed to having that second or two of reaction.
Exactly.
You're already on the ice.
Keeping the broom low. Yep. And then when we need that immediate sweep, it's go, go, go. Yep.
So just really quickly, maybe a word for Team Stefani. It was a pretty hard fought game. It's just they weren't able to really find their way to the button. Really.
Yes.
I think that's partly due to your gameplay and stuff. So.
Yeah, and I've played against Dan Stefani before, and he is a great curler, and his teams normally do pretty good. They can surprise you. So when I come into the game against Dan Stefani, great curler, I always say don't underestimate him, because he can still make great shots and great hits. So he did so in the Hive. He was making us sweat a little bit, and I had to take off my hat to show a little bit of humility with my bald head. So, but Dan's great.
So your team has one more game. Team Malaret takes on Team Chen.
Yes.
And that's going to be the last game at about 9:45. When the first rocks are in play. The practice starts at 9:15.
Yes.
What sort of mentality are you and your team taking into that last game?
I think we're just going to kind of take a similar approach that we did in this game. We're going to continue to clean rocks. We're going to continue to communicate, and then just make sure that we're all in sync, just like the boy band, as far as our communication and what the shots are, and just continue to do what we are doing in this game. And I think it could go well.
All right, good to hear. Well, thank you so much, Trevor.
Thank you, Ryan.
And we'll see you later. You guys are the last pool play feature game. So.
We are. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Ryan's doing a great job.
Thank you. And with that, we're going to say good night, good afternoon. Is it afternoon yet? It's afternoon.
Good night.
I'm losing track of time. So for all of us here at MoPac, Lake Tahoe, Epic Curling, and DoubleTakeout.com, this is your host Ryan Olson saying so long and good curling. We hope you'll join us at 3 o'clock Pacific time.